Very much, Mr. President. My question is to the Minister for Industry, Innovation and Science. I note that the minister launched Science Week last Thursday. Can the minister apprise the Senate of what Science Week involves?
The Minister for Industry, Innovation and Science, Senator Sinodinos.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I thank the honourable senator for his question, his interest in all matters scientific. He's a great Western Australian. Yes, I did launch the National Science Week last Thursday. Senator Bilyk was there with me. We had a great time. What a privilege it was to be there as Minister for Science, a room full of great scientists, including our Nobel laureate, Professor Brian Schmidt, leaders of our science organisations, Questacon, the Australian Academy of Science and others, but importantly, high school science teachers. A great number of high school students have been working away over the last 8 months in 17 schools across the country on the first Young Australians Plan for the Planet. It's an initiative that gets young people looking at the challenges we face, drawing on their STEM skills, articulating the questions, developing methodologies for coming to solutions. In other words, learning the scientific method, learning how to be scientists. This is a program that will be built on each year from now and will go to schools overseas. The government is supporting this year's National Science Week by providing $500,000 in grants for 39 projects under the Inspiring Australia Science Engagement Program. More than 1.3 million people are registered for more than 2,000 events across the country through the 20th of August. Hands-on activities, competitions, plenty to do online. Astronauts at the Sydney Opera House explaining to people about what it takes to have a mission to Mars, this sort of thing. Young guy who did a video trying to explain how it is that cats, when they fall off a table, land on their feet, because that's being used by space scientists to work out how we should walk in space. No, it's about exciting the scientific curiosity of our young people and getting more young people involved in science, technology, engineering and maths.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Smith, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can the minister outline what he is doing to get involved in Science Week?
Minister.
You've been thrown off the table.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Mr. President. That's right. I might be walking in space. Yeah, that's right. National Science Week is for everyone. So an important thing I've done is invite all members and senators in this place to sign up for events and activities happening in their electorates, including their local schools. And I thank those of you in this chamber and in the other chamber who have taken up that opportunity. As parliamentarians, we're in a position to shine a light on the value of scientists and science. I'll be launching the STAR portal, a great initiative of the Chief Scientist in partnership with some of Australia's biggest institutions. It's an open access web database of extracurricular STEM programs and activities on offer around the country, specially designed for students, teachers and parents. And as part of CSIRO's STEM in Schools program for Science Week, I'll be going to a small primary school at Gundaroo to take part in a virtual classroom run by Australian scientists working in the space industry. It'll be a webinar. It's occurring in a number of schools across the country.
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering the question has expired. Senator Smith, final supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can the minister update the Senate on what the Turnbull-Joyce government is doing to support science?
Order. Order. Order on my left. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. In my portfolio, science has its own importance in its own right and is critical to see science, though, in the broader context of innovation and industry. The National Science Statement, released in March, set out the government's vision for an Australian society engaged in and enriched by science. The government will take a strategic view of skills and talent, ensuring Australians have the broad base of STEM skills required for the workforce of the future. And through our National Science and Innovation Agenda, Inspiring Australia Science Engagement Program, we're promoting participation in STEM through sponsorship grants, citizen science grants, maker projects and women in STEM and entrepreneurship grants. We'll be investing over $10.3 billion in research and development, including $3.6 billion in university research and a record $794 million for the CSIRO. Under our Innovation and Science Agenda, looking to the longer term, we're investing $2.3 billion over 10 years to support our critical research infrastructure.
Thank you, Minister.